Hello everyone, it's Galina. Today I'm going to use my two favorite techniques at one time to create a super quick and pretty thank you card. I start by cutting out a white card panel using the rectangle die from dotted pattern set number 3. Before I will stamp a cup, I'm going to create a mask for this image. I'm placing two pieces of masking tape on the copy paper. I do this because my tape is not wide enough for this image, and in this way it will be easier to cut it out. Next, I'm going to run this paper with a coordinating die through my die cutting machine. And I get a perfect mask in a second. And this mask will give a nice white border between the stamped image and inked background. I simply remove the sticky masking tape from the copy paper and I'm going to place those masks where the stamped image should be. I'm placing the mask on the left and right top corners. Next, I'm covering the panel with a stencil. I'm using a pretty stencil with square bricks, and all links to supplies I used you can find in the video description below. I tape the stencil to the panel and a glass mat. I start applying green ink through it. I'm applying ink with light pressure to get a lighter shade of ink. With the next layers, I'm going to add more ink on the edges of my panel. I'm trying to create a nice ombre look on the panel using only one color. And I leave a white space between the left and right top masks. I'm applying ink until I love the result. And next, I'm removing the stencil and the whole mask from the panel. Now I can stamp the image in these white gaps. It's easier to stamp with the stamping tool when you can find the best position for the image. Also, I'm using a clear film from the stamp packing to rotate the stamp and keep the card panel clean. I'm stamping the full image of the flower cup on the left and the flowers only on the right corner. I'm stamping these both images with black Memento ink. If you don't have a stamping platform, use a big acrylic block. Make sure it's clean enough to be able to see through it and know where to stamp the cup. After stamping is done, I'm coloring the images with Copic markers. I skip the coloring process of the cup because I didn't mention the low battery of my camera. It happens so often with me, so I think I need to buy a new batteries and stop worrying about that. Anyway, I used two shades of warm gray markers to color it. I colored the shadows first and then I blend them with a super light gray color. I will write the color numbers in the post. Link to the post you will find below the video. As for flowers, I used light shades of yellow, orange and red colors. If you want to add more contrast look on the flowers, add a little bit of dark brown color between the petals. To color the leaves, I used only two green markers, G20 and G21. In the coordinating die set, you will find a few beautiful sentiment dies. I used a thanks die to cut out 2 sentiments from the green and silver cardstock. Using green die cut, I'm going to create a shadow behind the silver one. I'm gluing them together using small amount of liquid glue. And before adding the die cut on the card panel, I'm going to stamp a second part of the sentiment using a small stamp. I'm stamping it close to the cup and the bottom of the panel using a regular black ink. After that, I'm adhering the card panel on the green base. Also, I embellish the card with the white matte crystals. I placed a lot of them between the flowers and I glued them using Studio Katia liquid glue. And here's my finished card. Thanks so much for spending time with me. I will see you next week. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye!